Hey, it's me again, Justin here. Very soon I will be starting the Doctor of Education at South College. So this is my chance to give you as much information on the process of applying, understanding the premise of the program and the details of the program before starting. So once I get started, I feel like it's going to be pretty full on because, I'm going to want to hit the ground running, utilize this energy that I have at the beginning of the program, and I'm really excited to start. So this video, I'm going to focus on some Q&A, some questions that might be asked or that have been asked to me about the program from some of my friends, some commenters, and just some other people that are interested in the program that I know. And I'll start the video primarily with the admissions related questions or getting enrolled into the program, and that will be a bulk of this video. And then subsequent to that, I'll just talk a little bit about the programs, like some of the details, and then common questions around the assessments from what I know so far, from what I've learned, because again, I'm not in the program yet or in the actual coursework yet. So stay tuned if you're interested in that. Okay, so let's just first off explain that South College is a post-secondary institution. They accept domestic and international students, and it's an institute that has competency-based doctoral programs. Right now there are two, the Doctor of Business Administration and the Doctor of Education, which is what I'm interested in. But from what I understand, they are rolling out additional programs and they're still creating programs. So my assumption is that this is going to scale up, get bigger, get more well-known. Now, okay, let me talk a little bit about my experience in the admissions process. So the question is, what was the admissions process like? For my end, I think it's the most straightforward admissions process I've ever taken part in, and I've gone to many different universities. I've gone through the admissions process probably to 8 or 9 different institutions. Even one that I was accepted into for a doctoral program in Canada, it took like months and months to go through it. I actually had to build a relationship with a faculty member, write a research proposal with them a year in advance. Like, it was a lot of work. This is not like that at all. I'll just kind of go step by step. So first thing I did was I contacted an admissions officer or admissions advisor, whatever you want to call them. That's through the Knoxville campus, and that's different than the online campus. It's an online program, but it's through Knoxville right now. And I contacted them and they started getting the ball rolling. They sent me a link with some sort of code that I could register for an account on their enrollment portal. Once I got on the portal, there were 3 different parts. And the first part, writing in my personal information, as well as kind of work history, my degrees, and I actually had to leave 2 references, and those references were actually just personal references, not academic or professional. Once I completed the profile, my enrollment counselor, they asked me to send them an unofficial copy of my transcript for my last degree, which was at WGU. And for this program, they needed a master's degree. You should have at least a 2.75. At WGU, everyone gets a 3.0. So I emailed that to them. And at the same time, just something to note is that it allows you to not pay the application fee right away until that admission advisor follows up with you about that transcript they need. And so I just decided not to pay it. And actually, she waived the fee for me. And she did that because I'm an educator, or it could be that I work in higher education. I'm not sure, but the fee was waived. I just had to confirm, so I gave them a letter of employment from my institution. From there, you have to sign. The second part of the online portal is you just, again, read through a bunch of forms. There's a whole bunch of them. And then once you click that you've done that, then you're done that main section. And then the third section on the portal is all about finances. So, will you need financial aid? Or, at one point, the financial officer reached out to me and just explained the instructions on how to make a cash payment, because I am an international student, so I have to make a cash payment, which means that I won't be doing loans or whatnot. And I can do that in 1, 2, or 3 installments over the 6 months. And at that point, I let them know that I'm an educator, because there's a grant called the Teach Grant, I think it's called. And anyone that's an employee in K-12 or higher education can get $1,000 off each term of tuition. So instead of paying $6,000, I believe it's $5,000, or you pay the $6,000 and then they give you $1,000 reimbursement or payment back. I'm not sure. I haven't got to that point yet. Then there's some emails sent off where you essentially get access to the LMS, which is Learning Management Software System. They use Canvas. It's very straightforward. On there, you have to do a competency-based education orientation, which is very straightforward. And it just kind of teaches you about what the interface looks like, and that, when you have these assessments that are called formative assessments, they look like similar to like a discussion post. And so you have to do like a few practice ones on there. And then at one point, the program mentor contacts you, and mine just wanted me to set up one of 3 calls before the start of my program. So the first one is 15 minutes, and I already did that, and it's basically a meet and greet, and you just talk about yourself, they talk about you, and kind of what your reasoning is for doing the program. Then there's a second appointment, which is online, like you meet basically in a digital meeting on Teams, because South College uses Microsoft, not Google. And so you meet on Teams, and they will show their screen, kind of walk through the interface and how courses look and whatnot. And then you have another check-in before the start-in, which is a separate appointment. That's another 15 minutes. I also have been getting emails from the vice president of the Competency-Based Education, so Dr. Patrick. And he's a very good representative for the program in the sense that he's very involved. Today there was a virtual chat where they talked about the program, they answered questions, and they did that with a few other employees there. And they also had a current student talk about her experience, and she's just finishing the program, or soon, I guess kind of in the foreseeable future, which will be about a 2-year route that she did. And it was great to hear her experience. She's going to be working at the college. They've hired her actually as an instructional designer. So, that's a good sign. If she liked the program so much, she decided to continue there. The email also suggested that there's an official Facebook group. So in the last email, or the last video I made, I talked about an unofficial Facebook group, but there's also now official Facebook group. And I think it's growing fast, and it's for prospective and current students, and maybe alumni, I'm not sure. And so I think right now there's like over 100 people enrolled in a couple days, or registered in that Facebook group. Maybe I'll flash it, and you're more than welcome to join if you're really serious about looking into South College. Now, just a few other things. There are other orientations that you have to, or you don't have to do, but they are listed on the LMS. And I think one is called some sort of required student training. Another one is this library orientation. And I talked to my mentor, and she said they're not mandatory. A lot of those additional orientations are for in-person students. So I'll just answer a few other questions. There's a question here about, when did the Doctor of Education start? So I believe it started in the fall of 2021. So that means that there are people who are graduating now, and some have actually graduated in 1 year. Maybe a second question here is, how long does it take to do the program? So in the meeting that was today with Dr. Patrick, he had mentioned that a typical or estimated time is 18 to 24 months. However, there are people who have done it in a year. Now, he said that there are a couple students right now that are really going hard at trying to finish in the one block, which is 6 months, but they are, working very hard. It's possible they're probably like working double speed, extra effort. So I don't know if it's as common. And there's a lot more assessments than WGU, and that's because each course is 9 credits, which is different than the master's degrees at WGU. So how does the instructors differ from WGU? So the instructors at South College are kind of a blend of the instructors and evaluators at WGU. So at WGU, they have people that are content matter experts that you can ask questions to, and they understand the courses very well. So when you have questions, you can get them answered. And then the evaluators are separate individuals or staff members who are experts at evaluating the work efficiently. So at South College, the faculty, or we can call them instructors, whoever, faculty members, they evaluate the assignments. Another question here is, how long does it take to evaluate? So Dr. Patrick had mentioned it takes 72 hours is their criteria by which the faculty have to grade. And so I know at WGU that they say a couple days as well. However, in the education department, there was kind of a notice that sometimes it took up to 5 days. And I did see that at times. There was a question about what is the dissertation all about? And so there are some dissertations in a Doctor of Education that are applied research, and those can take a little bit more time. A lot of the times you have to do primary research or collect your own data in those types of programs. And also you may have to go through a certain ethics approval process, which can take time. This is a little bit different, where you have to find a data set that already exists, and then you do research around that. And that can really expedite the research process. That could even cut off like 6 to 9 months of doing a dissertation. But having a dissertation is really important for the overall rigor to a doctoral degree, in my opinion, so I'm glad that there is that dissertation requirement. Another question here is, what are the assessments like? So again, there are these formative assessments, and from what I understand, they kind of piggyback or compound towards a summative assessment. So a summative assessment is like a final deliverable, and there might be 5 to 7, and they could be papers. From what I understand, there might be a SWOT analysis, there could be a prospectus. It just depends on the nature of the course. I mean, some courses are more strategy-based and communication-based, or research-based, or discipline-specific based to teaching. It just depends on that. So if it's discipline-specific course in teaching, you might have to create a lesson plan and alter the lesson plan to suit maybe universal design principles or whatnot. Now, they say that the assignments are gated, which means that you can't necessarily submit an assignment until the previous one is completed, and by completed marked as mastery. So at South College, mastery is an A level, and so you basically can keep resubmitting the assignments until it's at that mastery level. Now, from what I understand, you can actually look at future assignments, so you can still work ahead, you just can't submit and have it evaluated. And that's how a lot of people advance in the program, is that they are looking at the onset of the course, they're looking at all the assignments, formative, summative, and they're planning ahead. Those are the questions that I'll answer for now. So I have, a month and a half or so before I'm even starting, but I'll let you know if there's other things in the admissions or onboarding process that are worth mentioning. I'm really looking forward to this experience. I think it will be exciting to be kind of in the learner's seat again, and I love competency-based education. Okay, thanks for sticking around if you've been here this long, and I will see you in another video.